The Luminara drifted through the Veil Nebula like a ghost, its crystalline hull reflecting nothing but the emptiness of space. For 300 cycles, the ship had been dead, its legendary starlight core extinguished. The Kelvari Empire had declared it a monument to their fallen age, a relic too sacred and too broken to ever fly again. Nancy disagreed. She floated through the ship's cavernous engine chamber, her helmet light cutting through the darkness. Beside her, Archie maneuvered carefully around the towering photon collectors that spiraled toward the dormant core. The structures resembled frozen waterfalls of glass and metal, beautiful even in their silence. The Kelvari engineers said it was impossible, Archie muttered, his voice crackling through the comm. They built this thing, and even they can't restart it. Nancy ran her gloved hand along one of the collectors, feeling the cold seep through her suit. That's because they're thinking like Kelvari. All elegance, all theory, all waiting for the stars to align perfectly. She grinned beneath her helmet. They forgot that sometimes you just need to hit things until they work. That's not exactly what the contract said we'd do. The contract said restore functionality. Didn't specify how. Nancy pulled out her scanner, watching the readings flicker across the screen. The Starlight core sat in the center of the chamber, a sphere of dormant crystal 30 feet across. It should have been drinking in photons from the collectors, converting pure light into the exotic energy that had once made the Luminara the fastest ship in known space. But the resonance frequencies were all wrong. The crystal had fallen out of harmony. Archie joined her at the core's base, staring up at the dead sphere. You know, there are 47 different species in this galaxy more advanced than humans. The Kelvari alone have technology we won't understand for centuries. And yet somehow, we're the ones they call when something breaks. Nancy smiled. Because we grew up with duct tape and determination. Because we learned to fix cars that should have died decades ago. To nurse along computers held together with hope and spare parts. She placed both hands on the core's surface. Because humans don't accept that something is impossible just because it's hard. She'd studied the Luminara's schematics for months, cross-referencing them with human theories about light manipulation and quantum resonance. The Kelvari had built their technology on principles of passive collection, letting starlight flow naturally into their systems. It was elegant, sophisticated, and absolutely inflexible. Humans had a different approach to energy. Take it, wrestle it, force it to do what you needed. Nancy pulled a device from her tool belt that looked like it had been assembled in someone's garage. Because it had been, in hers, back on Mars colony. The problem isn't the core itself. It's the initialization sequence. The Kelvari wait for perfect stellar alignment, the exact right frequency of starlight. Could take years, and we're not waiting years, Archie said, understanding dawning in his voice. Exactly. Nancy attached her device to the core's input port. We're going to jumpstart it. Force feed it concentrated starlight at variable frequencies until we hit the resonance sweet spot. That could shatter the crystal, or it could work. Nancy's fingers danced across her control pad. The Kelvari see this core as a holy artifact. I see it as an engine that needs a kick. She'd rigged a series of portable fusion lamps around the chamber, each one tuned to emit different wavelengths of light. It was crude compared to Kelvari technology, built with human manufacturing and human stubbornness. The plan was simple: flood the core with light and manually adjust frequencies until something resonated. Ready? She asked. Archie checked his safety line. This is either going to be brilliant, or we're going to be the humans who destroyed a 3,000-year-old Kelvari treasure. Fortune favors the bold. Nancy activated the sequence. The fusion lamps blazed to life, and the chamber filled with artificial starlight. The core remained dark, but Nancy wasn't discouraged. She adjusted the frequency, watching her readings. Nothing. She tried again, cycling through the spectrum faster than any Kelvari system would dare. Minutes passed. Sweat dripped down Nancy's face inside her helmet. The Kelvari had spent decades trying to revive this ship through meditation and calculation. She was giving it 15 minutes of human trial and error. Then, a flicker deep inside the crystal. A single point of light appeared. There. Archie shouted, "Don't lose it." Nancy's hands flew across the controls, locking onto the frequency that had sparked the response. She amplified it, feeling more like a DJ mixing music than a mechanic fixing a spaceship. The single point of light grew, spreading through the crystal like dawn breaking. The photon collectors began to hum, a sound that built from subsonic rumble to crystalline song. Light flowed through the ship's veins, and the Luminara awakened. The starlight core blazed with captured radiance, spinning slowly as it converted light into the exotic energies that would propel the ship, faster than conventional drives could dream. The chamber filled with a glow that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, the signature of a properly functioning Calvari starlight system. Nancy and Archie floated in the light, watching 3 centuries of darkness give way to brilliance. "You did it," Archie breathed. "You actually did it." Nancy deactivated her jury-rigged device, satisfied. "Humans have been bringing dead things back to life since we figured out how to bang rocks together. This is just a fancier rock." Later, when the Calvari delegation arrived to witness the Luminara's revival, they would speak in odd tones about the human mechanic who had accomplished what their greatest engineers could not. They would ask about her methods, her training, her secret techniques. Nancy would tell them the truth. Sometimes the most advanced solution is just the willingness to try, fail, and try again. Humans didn't need to understand every principle of Calvari technology. They just needed to understand that impossible was really just nobody's figured it out yet. As the Luminara's engines came online and the ship prepared for its first flight, in 300 years, Nancy allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. Across the galaxy, there were species older, wiser, and more advanced than humanity. But when something broke, when the impossible needed to become possible, they called humans, and humans answered with duct tape, determination, and the unshakable belief that any problem could be solved if you were just stubborn enough to keep trying.